I'm gonna give you guys a little masterclass today on how information without direction is pointless. We live in an age of social media, right? Where all you consume all day is valuable information. All you consume is new sales tactics, new closing techniques. Hey, and I'm one of those creators, so I get it. I'm always putting information out there that is helpful, that is truthful, but at the end of the day, it is just information. We live in a day of social media where there's so many business models. You're like, oh, here's the steps to start your new e-com store. Here's the steps to do this. Here's the steps to become a high ticket closer. Here's the steps to sell $1 million a year in real estate in your first year. So there's all this different guidelines of how to do things, right? How to do things, a bunch of informations. There's so many books. You think about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the 48 Laws of Power, Transurfing Reality. All of this information is at your hands. You can watch Harvard business classes on YouTube, right? Take this shit off. You can watch Harvard business classes on YouTube, right? Does that mean you went to Harvard? No, no. Does that mean if you watched a chemistry lecture at Harvard, all of a sudden, you know everything about chemistry? No, right? So the point of this video is I'm gonna explain to you how information today is so frequent and why that's a problem for you, and how you can discern information and implementation in your life, right? Because what is the definition of implementation? It's taking something that you know or taking something that you learned and putting it into a real world scenario. That is the thing a lot of you guys watching this struggle with. I know it for a fact. Everyone struggles with it. We all have all these things, these ideas, this new info, but we have no idea how to actually put it into our lives. So I'm gonna teach you what that actually looks like. Now, again, I'm gonna give you all of this value and all this information, but at least I'm breaking down how to implement it. So grab some popcorn, watch it on the treadmill, do whatever it is you do when you watch my YouTube videos. So when it comes to implementing information into your life, it comes down to analyzation, right? So I'm in real estate. Say you're a realtor watching this, and you see my content, you see all these things of how to talk to buyers, how the process works, how the sales process works, and you're like, wow, this is exactly what I needed to learn. I can't wait to put it in there. And then some of you guys DM me and you're like, bro, like, you sent me the sales process. We talked, but every time I get in front of buyers and sellers, I kind of freeze up and don't know what to do. That's because you don't know how to implement. And the way you implement is by analyzing what you are actually doing. A lot of us walk through the world subconsciously. We're just walking around, we're just doing things, we're just going to work, we're just doing this sale, we're talking on the phone here, we're talking on the phone there. But are we actually watching this stuff back and analyzing what we are actually saying, what we are actually doing, what our actions are actually doing? No. No, and if you were, you'd be able to implement these things into your life. That's the difference. That is the difference between having all this information and not being able to implement it, is there's no analyzation of what we're actually doing and what we're actually not doing. So I'll run you through a scenario of my own. I can remember when I first started in real estate, and I would, for like 9 months, I didn't have all the information at that time, but I had enough. I had enough info where I was like, okay, I know what to do. I know how to do it. So I know what to do, I know how to do it, now I just gotta do it. Shit's simple, right? I'm about to make a shitload of money. That's exactly what my brain thought every day. And for 9 months, I made $0. But that was because I didn't analyze anything. So I'll take you through it. I remember I would go get Zillow Premier leads, and I would go find random clients. Basically, I would go to their door, I'd do a little consultation. I'd be like, so what do you guys want in a house? This, and this. And I'd go find a few, and then I would take them there. And then I would go there to the showing, they'd walk through the whole thing, I wouldn't say squat, and then I'd pretty much be like, so do you guys like it or not? And then they're obviously like, well, I mean, yeah, but like, nah, I'm not really ready to commit right now. Text me in a few days, whatever. And then so I was like, oh, okay. And then like they walked away. And then I would have nothing to follow up with them about. But here's the point of the video. I knew what to do before a showing. I knew what to ask, what to look for, what to ask about the buyer, what they need, how the process works, but I didn't implement it for 9 months because while I was doing these things and going to these showings and doing it the wrong way, I knew what to do, I knew how to do it, but I wouldn't implement all this information into my business because I wasn't actually analyzing these things. So now I look back on that time and I'm like analyzing it and I'm like, okay, I did this, this, and this wrong. Here's the information that I know that would have made the situation right. So next time, instead of doing that, I need to take this information and do this. It's as simple as fucking that. It's that simple. It's just analyzing it. We do not do that though. How many sales calls have you been on where even if you closed it, but you thought it could have been better, or you didn't close it, or they hung up on you, or all these things, how many did you record and how many did you actually go back through and watch? Probably fucking none. And that's why you don't know how to implement all of these things, because you're not actually recognizing what you did right and what you did wrong. I'll give you another example. Get that off my phone. When I played football, right? I was a big football player. I played in college. I was a good football player, all-state football player, was that guy. What's it called? In football, just like most sports, on Saturdays, on Sundays, you watch film from the game. And you know what you do while you watch film? The coach will go, okay, here's the play. Here's what you were supposed to do. So here's the information. Here's what you were supposed to do. And here's how you were supposed to do it. And this is what you did. You went the wrong way. You didn't do this. You lined up wrong. You did this. You did that. And you would stare at it and be like, okay, I see that. I see where I did wrong. I see what it wasn't right. And now I know what the right way to do it is. So now next time, I'll do it the right way because I see what is the wrong way. But that is analyzation. That is sitting down and watching film. If you're not watching film out of your business, then what are we doing? What are we doing? If we're not analyzing how to make more money, how to convert more leads, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Dude, Tommy, I've been at 10K a month. I don't know what'll get me to that 50K a month mark. You think it's more leads? You think I need to follow? Probably not. You probably need to close more of the deals that are actually in front of you, but you would only be able to do that if you would analyze why you didn't close those deals and take all this newfound information that you know will work and do it. But it comes down to watching what was wrong, what could have been better, and how can I take that info and put it into the scenario that I just analyzed that would have made it perfect. It's that simple. It's not even as hard as people say, like, oh, well, you just got to show up and you just got to do it. Sure, but you can know what to do and still not be able to do it the right way. But you have to know the wrong way first, bro. You have to know the wrong way first. I can remember I started making content. It was horrible. Like, it was really bad. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to say it. But I saw all these videos, like, have a good hook. Tell an emotional story. And I was like, dude, I know exactly how to do this. I know exactly how to make content. But I wouldn't implement it because I would never go back through the reels that I would post and be like, okay, this was wrong. This could have been better. This is why that was wrong. Here's how I can do it better the next time. And then when I started doing that and analyzing it, my page started to blow up. 7 million views in February. I'm about to hit 10K tonight, whatever. My YouTube videos have done better. It's all about analyzing. It's all about analyzing. Back to the football analogy, what would we do? We'd watch film, the coach would be like, this is what you were supposed to do. Here's the information. Here's what you did the wrong way. You did this wrong. You did this wrong. If you would have done this, then it would have been right. And then on Monday, we would go to practice and we would do the same play again. He'd be like, here's the play from film. This is what you're supposed to do, Tommy. Here's the same scenario. Here's what you did last time. You're supposed to go this way this time. Do it this way this time. And I'd go, okay. And then I'd do it. And then it became second nature and I knew what to do. So now every time that play came back, I did it the right way, but only because I analyzed why I did it the wrong way and what the right way is actually supposed to look like. So how does this whole conversation tie into the sales world, right? That's the big question of the day. You guys will DM me, text me, swipe up on my Q&As, and you always ask the surface level question. It's either, it's the leads, it's my pitch, it's my this, it's my that. What it really is your lack of implementation and your lack of analyzation. So if we talk about a sales call, let's say you sell insurance and you're texting me and you're like, brother, I just keep dropping all these calls. The leads are shit. I think my pitch kind of sucks. The product sucks. The reality is, I'm sure you follow big insurance guys. I'm sure you follow Spencer Kojak. I'm sure you follow them boys. I'm sure you know about the virtual sales squad and all them boys. And I'm sure they know what they're doing. Look how much money they make. But you know what to do. You know what converts. You know how to sell it. So you can't tell me the info's not there. That's not the problem. The real problem is you aren't implementing it because you're not analyzing what is actually the problem. Dude, if the pitch was the problem, you wouldn't fucking sell any deals. You would be selling zero. If the product was the problem, you wouldn't sell squat either. If the leads were the problem, you wouldn't sell anything. If you made one sale, that means the leads are good, that means the products are good, that means the pitch is all right. So that's not the problem. The problem is you're not going back and being like, okay, I was on the phone with this grandma to sell her life insurance, and the script says this, and I know this information of how to frame it and how the framework is supposed to work for this closing call, but instead of doing my discovery, I kind of jumped straight into like her situation and like what she needs life insurance for. And then after she was pretty vague about that, I kind of just went straight into the pitch, and she got a little uncomfortable and got a little weird about it. And then it got kind of awkward, and then she didn't want to buy. And then I was just kind of like, well, why don't you want to buy? And then she hung up on me. And so yeah, I just feel like the pitch kind of sucks, bro. And like the leads are shit, and like that's what it is. No, how about if you watch my videos or anyone's, sorry, you know the discovery is very, very important. And you didn't do that. So just like film with my football analogy, why aren't we going back to the failed sales call and saying, I didn't do the discovery deep enough and I didn't do it well enough, and that is why it got awkward. And that is why I didn't have enough information to overcome her objections. That is why she didn't feel understood. That is why she didn't feel helped. So now that I know that my discovery wasn't that good, and I know that this is the way to do it better because I have all this newfound information on Google, on Instagram, on ChatGPT, on YouTube. Now that I know the right way to do it and I know what I was doing wrong, all I got to do is not do what I did last time and do it the wrong way and put the information that I know works into that situation. Think of like a Tetris. You know the Tetris, that old ass game where you like connect the blocks and they all fit together the right way. Think of it as like you're trying to put the blocks in and the blocks are obviously going the wrong way, and that you keep putting them in the wrong way, and you're like, bro, I can't beat this level. Like the blocks are just fucked up. And the reality is like, hey, the perfect block is like right here, bro. You just gotta like grab it and slide it in instead of stop doing it the fucking same way you've been doing it. That doesn't work. How about that? And you're like, it's not that simple, bro. And it's like, well, if you stopped for a second and analyzed and just looked at the Tetris board, that yeah, the way I'm doing it isn't working. Maybe this way that I know to be true will work. I'll just stop doing it the wrong way with the wrong blocks and put in the blocks that work. It sounds so dumb, but you guys don't get it. And I didn't get it for the longest. I did not get this for the longest. I'll give you more examples. In my real estate business, even when I got pretty good at it and started making six figures in it, I was like, okay, this is this. And I remember when it came to like coordinating closings, right? I remember I would do so many stupid things in the beginning of like, I'd set the close date with the attorney and then just not follow up on anything for like a week and a half. Like I wouldn't hit up the lenders to make sure the loan was going smooth. I wouldn't hit up the attorney to like reconfirm like, hey, has title hit you up yet? Hey, are they gonna wire funds? Hey, is that timing or is that close time still good? All these sort of things. And then it came back to bite me in the ass because sometimes hiccups would happen. The money didn't get wired on time. I double booked the closings, things like that. That makes me look bad. And all I had to do was analyze, okay, I did it right this one time. I know this is how it's supposed to go because I've already done it once that was correct. All I have to do is be like, okay, here's the right way. Here's the way I did it a few times that were wrong. I'm not gonna do that again, and I'm just gonna do it the right way every single time. Bro, there's so much information out there, it's almost like an overload, and people love to overcomplicate it in their own brains. We are very simple creatures, and we don't understand how to take this whole iCloud of info and shove it into the real world situation. We never will though. So the way to actually implement information into your life is to simply do what I just said. Analyze what was wrong. What was wrong? If I know this certain situation and I know, okay, this is how the situation is supposed to be because of this information that I have at my fingertips. This is exactly how it's supposed to be, and I have proof that that's how it works. And then I did some of it right, but this part didn't match that part. So next time I'm gonna sit down, gonna analyze what did I do wrong that didn't match the perfect scenario, take that out, implement the part of that scenario that I know to be true to replace my bad part, and then now I'm living the perfect scenario in my actions. It's that simple. It's really that simple. This ties into everything you do in your life. With girls, with going to the gym, with business, with sales calls, with in-person deals, anything. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. Take the newfound information, make sure it's foolproof, make sure it works, make sure you have proof that it works, and then analyze what you've been doing. And if what you've been doing doesn't match that you know to be true, figure out what about it isn't matching, take it out, and do it the next time. It's that simple. That's how you implement this whole info world of YouTube and everything with all this information, and you can't actually put it into real time, into real play, into the game. Analyze. What am I doing wrong? Why is it wrong? What is the right way? And simply replace it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.